All right,
I think men have too much confidence. I think
y'all. Oh my God, y'all be some ugly ass motherfuckers.
No nothing.
Thinking you're a 9 when you're really a 2.
Men are super judgmental of women.
Oh my God.
Bro, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I just don't take it as fact. I take it as your opinion, and I completely understand. My opinion as a woman is I'm so complex. I need 5 husbands because you're too simple for me. Just one of you. Right? So we could flip this both ways. We could flip this both ways. Most men I have ever dated are not my equal. I am far superior to them.
From what perspective? Like financial?
All perspectives.
So you make more money than them?
Every guy I've ever dated, I made more money than them.
You made more money than them?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For sure.
But as a high-powered woman that, like, in a lot of senses takes the role of a man, I just see it all as a cop-out of why it's okay for you to do something but not for me, right? We play games fairly. We're not allowed to like drug ourselves and play baseball or soccer. So why should our relationship somehow be unfair?
Because men and women aren't the same and life is not fair. There's privileges that you get that men would never get and vice versa.
I disagree with you highly because I work in a man's world, and if anything, my
so me and you are
life
equal.
is harder.
Me and you are equal?
I mean, in my opinion, yes.
Okay, so let's say me and you are in a relationship, okay? Hypothetically speaking, of course, because you would never date me, right? So we're in a relationship and someone breaks into the house, okay? 3 dudes. Am I going to look at you and say, hey, baby, you got this one. I handled the last home invasion.
Can I tell you something?
What would you do?
Do you know what side of the bed I sleep on?
Which one?
Do you think it's further from the door or closer to the door?
Well, you're single, so probably closer to the door.
I always sleep closer to the door.
Okay. But
good luck coming in my house.
Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is, would you be able to handle that threat of men?
I've been handling myself for a long time. Okay. So yes, if I can
you would be able to fight off 3 men by yourself.
I have a gun. So
okay, that's cool.
Good.
Get it, girl.
Right? But the point is, if you can take care of yourself for 31 years, why can you suddenly not when you're with somebody else?
Because the thing is this, even though it sounds good on paper for you to say, I'm a woman, I'm strong and I'm powerful, the reality is you're physically inferior to men. Even a high school boy.
And you're mentally inferior to me.
Oh, okay. All right. We're gonna have this.
This is the heat of debate.
It's true. Women's brains literally communicate better than men. These are not my ideas. They're like psychological facts.
Okay. You know what? Yes, women are socially superior to men.
Yes.
They're far more socially calibrated.
Socially.
But mentally, I mean, that's a toss-up because here's the thing. If we're going to talk about, because men are far more logically rational.
In your opinion, I've seen guys play video games and throw video game controllers against the wall because they lost Call of Duty.
Okay, the argument is men are more logically rational and sound than women. Not anger control. Because
so our emotions are separate from logic now. So if I was on my period,
yes,
right?
Yes.
It would be that I was illogical because I was emotional. But if you're emotional when you play a video game, that's logic.
Okay, this has zero to do with the conversation at hand. The conversation is this: women are more socially aware than men, but that does not mean that you're mentally superior. Or were you just trying to say that they're more socially aware? Was that your argument?
I absolutely think that men are super simple, especially in the way they go fuck women.
Okay.
So
well, we're talking about intellect right now, not mate selection anymore.
And again, I'm not saying you can't say everybody in general. I can't say all men or all women because
on a balance of probabilities. True. On a balance of probabilities, your argument originally was women are more socially intelligent than men. I agree with you on that. Yes, they are more socially calibrated, but mentally superior.
Run game on you so much faster too. Like that's a sad thing. Like
yeah, socially superior.
It's just I can't agree with you, and I probably never will because we all make a choice, and it's not. You're not God-driven to have sex with some dirty, ugly hoe. You're not. You chose that. Just like I would choose to have sex with some fat guy or some guy that's going to give me $1 million or whatever. It's a choice. You're choosing it. So like a girl chooses a sugar daddy. A dude is choosing to be not faithful.
Men and women aren't equal. I think you're basing everything off the premise that men and women are equal. And I'm telling you that it's biological fact that men are physically superior to women.
Not all men, though. But you're telling me men are superior to women. Okay,
they are.
So let's physically.
I said physically.
I said physically. Them down.
I said physically.
I will.
I said physically.
I'm strong.
Okay.
And they're little.
listen, I don't want to sound like an asshole, but a high school boy would fuck you up. A 13-year-old boy would literally destroy you, mop the floor with you. And I'm not saying
that's
that
your
to be
opinion.
That's
a biological fact.
Look, and I
She
support it. You can have all
So
the
are
opinions
you-
that you
Are you
want.
disagreeing that men are physically superior to women? Are you disagreeing? Are you disagreeing with that?
You're saying all men. So you're telling me all men in the world are physically superior?
On a balance of probability, you take an average man and average woman who's going to be physically superior every single time.
Obviously, the guy is going to be.
Okay, because you're using exceptions to the rule. We're talking about.
There are always exceptions to the rule,
but that
you
doesn't make
can't
the rule.
speak of life in absolutes.
Exceptions does not. An exception to the rule does not make the rule.
But you're making an exception to the rule.
What's the exception?
We are not supposed to cheat on our mates, but men can because we're wired differently.
Completely. And I'll tell you why. A key that opens many locks is a master key. A lock that opens any key is a shitty lock. Men and women are different.
Look, I respect your opinion. I'm still going to call it bullshit.
Okay. All right. We can agree to disagree.
It is. It's you're too weak.
We could agree to disagree.
You're so weak that you still have to do it, but you're too weak to allow the woman to do it the same.
Because women don't show fidelity the same way. We literally, you just answered it yourself. You said it before. If a woman has sex with another man, she doesn't love her husband anymore. It's done.
So
yeah, but that's because we probably think things through, right? A little bit more.
But you've made a decision that you're done with him.
I make decisions, right? Like, again, I left a guy once over the same thing.
Exactly.
I made a decision as a person to say, hey, I'm not going to do this. I could easily lie to this person. I could easily do those things. I'm not going to. Because I think more of myself. I think more of that person than that. And I respect your opinion if you don't respect your woman enough to stick with her. But I'm not going to accept that as a fact because it's not.
Men show commitment differently than women do.
Until a psychological doctor shows me some proof of your statements. They are just opinion and they're not.
There's plenty of proof that sex is completely different for men versus women. There's a bunch of proof. There's a bunch of proof.
People say a lot of things. I could look up statistics of anything, both ways. That's the amazing thing about America. We have statistics about everything, both ways. I could look it up right now that women should be more and not as faithful to men. Because think about it. We do need more social interaction. All you need is sex. Okay, well, that's cool. You could have sex like once a week. I need to have conversations every day.